Good morning. In a short while from now, we'll be receiving our chief guest, Secretary Dare and DG ICAR Dr. Trilochana Mahapatra. May I request the delegates present here to please reduce the A very good morning. Welcome to the session of International Extension Congress 2018. Begin the ICAR song.
जय जय कृषि परिषद भारत की सुखद भारत की कृषि धन मानव जीवन दुग्ध मत्स्य फल यंत्र सुवर्धन वैज्ञानिक विधि नव तकनीके पारिस्थितिकी का संरक्षण शस्य श्यामला छवि भारत की जय जय कृषि परिषद भारत की हिम प्रदेश से सागर तट तक मरुधरती से पूर्वोत्तर तक हर पथ पर है मित्र कृषक की शिक्षा शोध प्रसार सकल तक आशा स्वावलंबित भारत की जय जय कृषि परिषद भारत की जय जय कृषि परिषद भारत की
Thanks. Now, I request the chief guest of this morning and the guests of honor present at the dais to please inaugurate the session by lighting the lamp. Sir, I request the dignitaries in the dais to please do the honors. I also request Reverend Dr. P. Das or Trivedi sir and Dr. B. V. Sadamate to please join the do the honor, please. Thank you, sir. Now I request Chaitrali, Tapashwini and Tanuja to welcome our guests on the dais by presenting a ruth sticks. Thank you. Now, respected Dr. Sadat, President Odisha of Education, to please deliver the welcome address. Sir, please.
Good morning, everybody. I have this opportunity to be with you and with dignitaries and the scientists of the country also here. So, sir, I have given the opportunity to welcome the scientists, delegates, media people, those who are present here. So, let me say our Director General, Dr. Tilochan Mahapatra, he studied in Ravenshaw University, Cuttack, OIOT, Bhubaneswar, and then at IRI, New Delhi. He served National Research Center, Plant Biotechnology, IRI, New Delhi, and also researcher before Dr. Mahapatra holding the Vice Chancellor Delhi, science and global area of sir, besides that, Dr. Mahapatra, I personally proud of you because you are student of OUT, and also the state is proud of you because occupying highest position in the country this year. So my humble submission to you as a DG ICR that you will definitely give us guidance and also show the way how the institutions are better people in general in the country. So sir, you have potentialities. I have very closely watched to you. I know you have very good mind for the farmers because at CRI Cuttack, I have seen you that you are all times interested for the well for the farmers. So I'm not going to say many things about your career, but this much I say, sir, you are a very good human being. You have a heart for the farmers. You feel for the people. I yet and hope and bless you that you will give guidance and instruction that how extension can be much more helpful to the people of Odisha, those who are poor people, particularly tribal people who are living in about 17 districts of the state. So their condition is very bad, and I hope and you can just give guidance and take necessary steps how to uplift the poor of the state so people will remember you for a long time. Sir, I personally proud of you, and the state is proud of you, and you being great scholar, and I have seen humanity in your heart, in your action, in your behavior. Sir, I welcome this occasion. I welcome Dr. Padak, my Vice Chancellor, the university where I was a student, also worked for a long period of 35 years. What I know that he is giving a new horizon to extension system, research system, teaching in OIOT, and the people, not only myself, the students, academicians, and all people, those who are concerned with agriculture. Sir, they appreciate you. Sir, we also need your guidance and your instruction that how the extension will prosper with the requirement of farmers on state. Sir, I welcome these occasions and I have blessing for you. Dr. A.K. Singh is professional friends and we know each other for a long time. Under your dynamic leadership, the KVK will prosper and you will good direction. How the KVK will be better, will be very effective instrument to reach and teach people of the state and to increase their living. Seeing all of these actions, here much lot you will give instruction, guidance to work the CIS of sir, I have heard your name also. We all people, civil people are here. We know that your capacity, efficiency, what you can achieve. Sir, under your guidance, the state will get new life for better. Farmers, tribals, tribal women, disadvantaged groups who need the help and the guidance of the department Sir, I know much about you that you can deliver the goods, and under your guidance, the leadership, the farmers state will get benefit what is expected out of the government. Next one, sir. Mr. Pathak, Dr. Pathak, is a friend of mine also. In the meantime, he at Katak, I have seen you and your inspirations, your cooperativeness and your helpfulness has helped us, the society, to organize these seminars. Sir, I welcome to these organizations and hope that you will give necessary facilities, how extension, how rice technology can reach to the farmers of the state. Sir, Dr. Jana is very young to me, but very good scientist, well known in his fields, fishery in the field of fisheries. Odisha has vast opportunities, and I feel Dr. Jana will provide us the required inputs to improve the fishery enterprise in the state, and millions of fishermen and men will get benefit. Dr. Jana, I welcome you and be with us. Dr. Srivastava, the doctor of this institute, whose helpfulness, cooperation, and friendly also, all times when you arrange any seminar, anything here, he is a good friend of us. He has a mind of, although he belongs to other discipline, but he has a very keen mind extension how people of Odisha, particularly those who need technical. Besides that, I also welcome Dr. Pidas, who was my DDG under whom I worked, Dr. G. Trivedi, Dr. Shodam, Dr. Manas, Dr. Chahar, helped us from time to time to grow up. Particularly, Dr. Pidas, I would say that today is my DDG, I am working under him. This is my feeling. All times he has good affections, good guidance have done, and so also all media people, those are present here. I welcome you, sir, everybody, those are present in the hall or outside also, to cooperate and help the extension to grow, to meet the requirement of farmers, to serve the voiceless people of the state. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. You have welcomed everybody present here. We all welcome you, sir, to this inaugural session. Now, I request S. Pathak, Director, ICAR-CIWA Kotak, to please give a briefing on background and objectives of this Congress. Sir, please.
Good morning, friends. Honorable Director General, ICAR and Secretary Dr. Mahapatra, Dr. Pushpalak, Honorable Vice Chancellor, OUAT, Dr. Garg, Principal Secretary, Agriculture of the State, two very honorable Deputy Director Generals, Dr. A.K. Singh, and my friend, Dr. Jena, Dr. Satpathy, my colleague, Dr. Srivastava, all the stalwarts of agriculture extension in this country, my fellow directors of ICAR institutes, my colleagues from different ICAR institutes, and more importantly, probably in today's Congress, a large number of students are participating in this Congress. So all my students who are coming from different states, ladies and gentlemen. Friends, all of us recognize that agriculture extension is probably the most important aspect for agricultural development of any country. It is more so for a country like ours, where the farmers are smallholders or marginal. They are all heterogeneous. They have all kinds of diversities and facing large number of challenges, almost every of diverse heterogeneous farmers. Agricultural extension is over the really evolved. Of course, it is still evolving. But today we are standing at a point, for if I remember what Charles Dickens used to say, that we are in the best of time and we are also in the worst of times. Best of time means we have got so much of opportunities now. For example, with the help of ICTs and social all networks, we can reach millions in almost no times. We have got that much reach. And all of us, particularly young friends, are so savvy with all these modern technologies that which was really very, very a dream kind of thing even 10 years back, today we can really achieve those. So that's of course one of the very potential areas. But also we are having very difficult times because the challenges are also large, quite large number of challenges we are facing. Whether it is a challenge of thinking farmers, whether it is a challenge of facing or addressing the issues of climate change, whether it is a challenge of all these changing dimensions of socio-economic and cultural aspects. Income is going up, preferences is changing, cultural changing. So some of these things trace this agriculture extension in a challenge. With this background, this is first Extension Congress. We started this one of increasingly evolving and developing extension education for meeting the challenges and harnessing the opportunities. Our objective is to provide a platform to evolve and develop the subject based on the objective-oriented research related to identified theme areas and interaction among the extension professionals. So in this Congress, we have got 6 themes. Firstly, we have got emerging challenges and innovative approaches in extension. Secondly, advancements and futuristic assessment of core areas of extension. Thirdly, envisioning and redefining extension in changing context of agriculture and society. Fourthly, changing research paradigm and enhancing competencies of extension professionals. Fifthly, professionalism and ethics in extension. And of course, lastly, innovations in field extensions. And all these 6 theme areas have been addressed in 10 sessions. And all the sessions, actually yesterday, if I remember at least one, what was presented by Dr. P. Das, was so illuminating, starting what has happened in the last 50, 60 years, from where we have started, where we are now, and where we need to go. It was a brilliant presentation, and subsequent presentations and discussions were also so brilliant. It was engrossing, and all of my colleagues will agree with me. We all enjoyed that one, and I'm sure today and tomorrow also we will continue with the same spirit. Sir, I would like to tell that this particular Congress had got at least 4 unique characteristics, which probably we have not seen earlier. Firstly, sir, the title, themes, sub-themes, and topics have been decided based on a technique called Delphi technique. So we decided earlier a draft one, then circulated all over, and globally around 172 extension professionals participated, gave their feedback, what should be the title, what should be the theme and sub-themes, and what should be different topics. So this is probably, of course, yesterday we have started, but last 1 year or so we have been engaged in this kind of activities, and finally we came out to be title and all other aspects. So this is the first uniqueness of this. Second one is, sir, we are using a software called Slido and also web screening. So with this particular software, and probably you will be getting some opportunity to see what it is, all the participants sitting here and maybe anywhere in the world can interact with the presenter, can raise their questions and issues, and the panelists or the presenters will get an opportunity to address each and every question, either on session, and if not in the session, even afterwards also. And as I was told that we are not going to close this discussion, it will continue for few more months till we address all the questions and issues raised by somebody either attending this congress, or maybe outside. So this is the second one. Third one is, sir, here we didn't follow what the conventionally it is done, a presentation and then subsequent discussion, but all are moderated interactive panel discussion. So here we have identified a moderator, few panelists who will raise the issues, who will introduce the issues, and then it will be in an interactive mode where all the participants inside and outside will be able to interact with this. And as I said, that it will continue even after the Congress is over tomorrow. First uniqueness of particular Congress is, sir, we have got around 2 registered participants. But more than 100 are students. Students are future see the law and their enthusiasm encourages not only a person like me, but also all very, very happy to see the stars are coming with enthusiasm, with lots of energy, and I am sure contributed in times to come in agricultural exchange. With all this uniqueness and of course the gracious presence of all of you, all the luminaries on the and of course of the dais, I am not taking name, but I know each one of you and your contributions, what you have done in promoting agricultural extension in this country. I thank all of you once again, and again I welcome each and every one of you for your participation and for your support. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir, for putting the background and objective and the structure of the sessions in perspective for benefit of all of us. Thank you, sir. Friends, we have with us Dr. Saurav Garg, is a senior bureaucrat and the principal secretary in the government of Odisha for Department of Agriculture, and he is instrumental in steering the agricultural policies of government of Odisha at a time when the state is facing numerous challenges. May I request the guest of honor to please share his thoughts.
Dr. Mahapatra, Dr. Singh, other distinguished guests, and participants of this International Congress. First of all, a thank you to Dr. Mahapatra Singh for inviting us. I feel privileged to be on all the experts present out. Very much. Welcome to Bhubaneswar for the first lesson. I do hope you enjoy your day or two that you will be here. And just to say that in case you have time, there's an excellent Adivasi Mela going on in the so if you have time, please go out there because it showcases the different tribes of Odisha in the activities. And in fact, a large out of the stalls of agriculture produce that the tribes produce. Once again, come in Ishwar. Also, this is the first national Congress held out here, so it's a privilege to host. On agricultural extent, it's I don't think to the importance no one can deny and or overemphasize. I can just mention that I've just joined a few months back, and in October, just within a few days of my joining, and over the next few weeks, we had 3 kinds of events out here. First, we had during September a 21-day period of no rain, so leading to agricultural drought and crop loss. Followed by, in October, very heavy rainfall and rise in temperature, leading to pest attack. And then in November, seasonal rains, leading to again crop damage. So what I'm trying to say is that the extension machinery has to take care of different events in 3 months related possibly to climate change, but the farmers have to be kept on what is the actions to be taken, what are the steps that can be taken. So the importance of extension and the fact that extension in this present age, I'm sure all of you are aware of. Second area I would just like to which we are in a process of development, and it's already being used case extensively, sending out messages. center, the Kisan call centers, where farmers can phone and then they can get some advice. But what we are trying to also look at how the data analytics can be done, so that in case in some area, let us say there are 4 or 5 farmers have reported some incident or an event, how we can send it to the other farmers in that area so that there can be some proactive action taken by the farmers. I suppose this next level of data analytics and probably use of artificial intelligence would help the extension staff also to be able to better react to dynamic situations. But obviously face-to-face interactions remain a very, very important of agricultural extension, only to be supported by technology as we move along. So once again, thanks to Dr. Mahapatra, Dr. Singh and all the colleagues for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to see all of you. And I would be very happy to ensure that our field extension staff also once in a while come to attend these things. They will benefit from some such conferences, and I'm sure as and when you hold future conferences like this, we will ensure that our field staff from the state also participate in this. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your views for the approach and interventions of Department of Agriculture in overcoming the challenges facing the state. Thank you very much, sir. Now we have with us Dr. J.K. Jena, DDG Fishery Science and Animal Science also, ICAR, New Delhi. Sir, may I request the respected Dr. J.K. Jena to please address the meeting.
Good morning, one and all. Esteemed guest on the dais, chief guest of today's morning, Secretary Day and DG ICR, Dr. Trilochan Mahapatra ji. Special guest of today, Dr. Saurabh Garg ji, Principal Secretary, Department of Agriculture and Farmers Empowerment, Odisha. Vice Chancellor of Agriculture University, Dr. Pashupalak ji. My friend, Dr. Pathak, Director NRRI, Dr. Srivastava, Director of this esteemed institute, Dr. A.K. Singh ji, Deputy Director General Extension and also Director IRI, Dr. Satpati ji, and I find many of the dignitaries present of the dais, Dr. P. Das ji, former Deputy Director General Extension ICAR, Dr. Trivedi ji, Dr. Chair ji, Dr. Shadamate ji, and Dr. Adhikari. Yes, I find many of my colleague directors, Dr. Rambash, Dr. Patnaik, Dr. Mandal, and Dr. Singh, Dr. S.K. Singh, and many others. Delegates, ladies and gentlemen, press and media, friends, it is indeed a great honor for me to be here. Of course, 5 minutes before I was not knowing that I need to be here and speaking before you. Just I was here in the adjacent institute in Kerry, and I thank Dr. for inviting me to be here this morning. Friends, we have seen every odds. When we got independence, by that time seen the Bengal famine. We had seen more than 20 lakh of people dying with hunger, disease and whatnot. By that time, we had only one target. Don't say that one target only, maybe 1, 2, 3 target increasing the production. Target was increasing, was also same. And we achieved most of these things. Today we feel proud to say that we are not only self-sufficient, we are a food surplus country. Not only in agriculture, whether it is paddy, wheat, and so forth. Coming from the fishery sector, I would like to boost the sector where we fisheries, fold increase in production from less than 1 million ton to we have 10.8 million ton. We did talk of only food security by that time. Then we thought of talking of protein security, nutritional security. Today we say nutritional rich food. Today when we talk of animal sector also, I want to touch the crop science because I have very little knowledge. When we talk of again, we say that Operation Flood or White Revolution, unparalleled growth, almost 10-fold increase in growth from less than 17 million ton in 1950. Today we are talking of 164 million. And we are targeting 300 million ton or 400 million ton by 2050. Why we are able to say that? Because we have expectations that we will be able to reach. That is what is the positiveness has come us. If we are talking of again the meat, just 20 years, last 20 years meat production, you see, almost fourfold from 1.9 million ton, today we have 8.9 million ton. Egg, unparalleled, 48-fold, in today we are talking of 87 billion egg. But the path is quite far. When we talk per capita availability, it is only 60 egg or milk 350 ml. We have expectation when we talk of egg, 180 egg we need. That is what is the requirement. That is what the recommendation that we need to have. And all this we take the pride. Definitely we must cherish, we must celebrate wherever we have done. We must celebrate. Why not? If we have made success. But at the same time, we need to introspect also what is our future, the demand, what is our expectations. All of us know the challenges, not that it is something new that we would be talking challenges today. We expectation, all of you know we have been talking of SDGs, everyone talk about this. If you see the first 3 goals, what they say, no poverty, no hunger, and that is what the first 3 target. And all this target is for this food animal sector or fish sector. Otherwise, no other sector can fulfill. Other will satisfy to good extent. But primary sector expectations so much. Say that extent all there has been a tremendous. We have done new varieties, new protocol, new technology. All these things happen, but otherwise, if it had not reached to the farmers, probably we would not have got that. But we have faltered somewhere. Definitely, we need to introspect. We have lacuna, which all of us know. The gap, wherever there is a gap, we need to plug those gaps. And we have machineries. We know the points where we have gaps. But all of us need to join definitely. Unless if we don't join, probably will not be satisfying the expectations of the country. Today, when as I told in the beginning, when in 50s we had only target was only production. Today we have several targets. After production and productivity, today we talk of quality. It's so important today. Variety, safety, those are very important. Today when we go to purchase a vegetable to the market, we try to find out the small brinjal, thinking that big may be having, people must do so much best. It is what we think, which may correct or may not be correct. Quality and safety is important today. Those also today our Prime Minister and Minister have given us challenging the farmers. Well or no, increasing the income. Today we want another target. We say that environmental sustainability or security. So important. We cannot say this is important, other is not important. We have been talking of gender. We have been talking of equity. We have been talking about increasing export. So everything is so important. Not only production and productivity. Everything is important before us. So we need to see that whatever the technology we have developed over these years, whether it is in fisheries, talk of fisheries, I do understand that we have done a lot when we talk of breeding programs and all. Maybe 50 years before we did talk of only 2, 3, 4, 6 species of carps and few catfishes and so forth. Today we have a big shopping list of 50 odd species which we can push that we have a variety or which we are for the whole country. We are talking of depending on the selected spaces for farming. We have done enough on earlier. We thought that fish need not be fed because in the river or reservoir nobody feeds, so fish will grow. Today we know that even from a small pond itself or a small cage of only maybe 6 meter by 6 meter, you can harvest about 3 ton of fish. This is the potential. This has not happened only by the stocking of fish. It has happened because of all the management protocols, whether feed, water, soil, or whatnot. So every aspect we have knowledge today. Health, when you go for high density farming, we do understand whether it is animal or crops or fish, disease is an obvious problem. So we have been able to tackle to good extent, but still we have a target in miles to go because every day new diseases come, new transboundary diseases. In the animal sector also, when you talk of Operation Flood or White Revolution, not happened just because of the increasing the population of cattle. We say that bovine population 300 million. So because of that, our population, largest population in the world, so more production. It is not because of only largest population. If you see the total population of last 5 years, 2007 to 2010, 12 census, the population has come down. The cattle population has come down by about 4%. The goat population has come down by 3%. The sheep population has come down by 9%, except that of poultry and to some extent maybe buffalo. All population has come down. Still we have been able to increase the milk production. We have been able to increase the export. Today we are talking of the beef export, or the, I don't say that beef, maybe buffalo meat export to the extent of about 2600 crores. All those things have happened because of technology which has reached to good extent. I don't say that the potential is quite high, but still we have done enough. But when you talk of today, over last 60-65 years, whatever the technology we have developed and whatever the technology has reached, it is mainly because of the input-based farming. That is what, if tomorrow we want to increase the production and productivity or the environmental sustainability, what we have been talking of, this is possible only not because with only input-based. It has to be knowledge-based farming. And when you talk of knowledge-based farming, it is the extension is so important, taking this knowledge from the laboratory, from the farm field to the ultimate stakeholders. So in this context, we know that it has been talked of new avenues of extension. About 30 years back, all the time we used to television, radio, group discussion, team discussion, and so forth, all extension methodology. Probably, I don't say that this is irrelevant today. Those are relevant also today, even in spite of the fact that all the electronics age, whether you call of Facebook, Twitter, even WhatsApp, whatever, his message goes so fast. Dr. Pathak was telling within a fraction of a second it reaches. But also we have a risk. So much of distortion message also comes. You give a good message, somebody put only is or are or not, they will put, and total message goes wrong message. We get today WhatsApp message, 50% message you are irrelevant today. So probably this risk also we need to be again seen. We have been talking of phone-in program, Kishan channel, and so much avenues today. Dr. Pathak was telling so much of models available today. So I am sure with the technology available with us, we will be able to serve the nation, the expectation of the country, expectations of the every stakeholders, expectations of our Honorable Prime Minister, doubling the farmers' income. Everything is possible when we take our knowledge to the ultimate stakeholders. And I am sure with everybody joining hands, bringing synergy in our program, it will be possible if all the agencies join hands. If we have in this hall today not only ICAR institutes, universities, NGOs, students, and everybody, if join hands, probably there is no reason why you will not be able to meet the expectation of the country. Anyway, thank you very much for the opportunity given to me. I'm sure the next 2 days the deliberation will discuss and bring out some roadmap for better extension methodologies and challenges. You will analyze and give us what are the path ahead and for meeting the opportunities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your words of optimism and confidence. You must march ahead with certitude, and we agree we can do it. Thank you very much. Now, dear friends, we have with us this morning respected Professor S. Pasupalak, Vice Chancellor UT, Bhubaneswar. I now request the Sir, Dr. Professor S. Pasupalak, to please share his thoughts.
Good morning to all of you, respected Secretary there and DG ICAR, Dr. Trilochan Mahapatra, DG Dr. Singh, Dr. Jaina, others on the dais, of the dais, very distinguished ceremonies of the High Extension, P. Das, Dr. Salamate, Trivedi, Adhikari, and so many. Guests, government officials, ICS scientists, dear students, press and media, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I'm quite delighted to present here. It's a very important Congress of the nuclear scientists, particularly to be present before the learned persons. And I appreciate that this first International Congress was held at Bhubaneswar, and just by pipetting a topic, a theme that's required to accelerate the productivity of the country. We know that in September 2015, member countries, the United States, set together, made much deliberation, how to bring a sustained livelihood of the developing countries. With that, they framed and agreed to have 8 sustainable development goals. Now, they realized that to achieve these 8 sustainable development goals, agriculture scientists, particularly extension scientists, have played a role to achieve that. And though the countries differ in the social, economic, and political environment, they differ in the extensive models that are adopted so far. They're also varied with the varied experience they learn by implementing the different models of extension. But they came to convergence one since that they learned could be used setting up the future framework and excellent plan for accelerating the livelihood and economic growth of the developing countries. Coming to India, we have a goal of doubling farmers' income by 2022, and that's not the profit, doubling profit. Also, production system, both land-based and non-land-based, must be productive, sustainable, also have nutritional security. The country is confident that it's going to achieve by 2022, and it has a multiple approach how to achieve that one. And here, our extension system consisting of scientists and also the field machinery have a great role how to achieve that. Now, here I will tell something about how the state university, like my university, OUAT, and KBKs, engage in the extension system, have a role towards achieving that, whether that's 8 SDGs or DFI. Before that, now, one of the characteristics of the globalization is that there is some homogeneous tendencies and trend world over. But if you see the impact pattern is not even or any ubiquitous. They differ among the different countries. Paradoxically, these globalized changes in economic and social factors within many consumer environments and homogenizing demand, in particular consumer market, they also differentiate among the countries, and hence the needful action by the nation state also requires to be different. As a result, the challenges and opportunities of the extension scientists and field machinery must be differentiated exactly with the target what to do and what not to do, particularly with respect to your supply chain, meeting the global standard and demand. Then the climate change, all you know that we are experiencing that one, unseasonal weather, extreme weather events is visible, both temperature, rainfall, and has a greater impact on the agriculture because of the sector is on the open field without any protection. And the farmers, who are the real actors in the sector, are the most vulnerable because of economically they are poor. Then, with these problems, let me tell some of the other things what has come up, extension system, and to have that effective, let me tell how there's a time now has come to review our existing extension system, to then we can check out for most effective extension system one. Number one, the technologies now come from the multiple sources of research, though the public sector is the dominant role. But if you see the research rate, in the recent years, we see the vegetables, the fruits, the technology, the growth enhancing ones, many of things come from the private sector one. But there is no convergence, no formal structural and functional mechanism of convergence between all the actors who generate the technologies. Two, the outreach program is diffused through multiple extension agencies and processes. Although here also the public extension has a greater role to do, but still the different the industries, particularly input dealers, and also the output one, with buyback of the potential giving input, they have their own extension program, many times through the dealers in the rural areas. So that is another problem of the how that there is no convergence. Even the ICR extension system, and the State Department and the university, there is no convergence working together at the same purpose, at the same place. The role of extension scientist and the field extension worker are already not differentiated. That's the problem. What agriculture scientist, extension scientist in KVK, what role he has to do, and how that difference is different from the State Department Agriculture field machinery. It definitely differentiate clearly to achieve the target. That is not yet done. And finally, the farming communities differ in their historical, political, economic, agroclimatic, and institutional context. And the database of all these contexts are required to check out a location-specific, target-oriented, and that extension specialists do not have that database to use for effective the extension program. Now, of the above problems and challenges, there are also silver line that opportunities arise. To encash these opportunities, which is not a generic global model that we have, that we can check out, to strengthen the service, but there are some basic three fundamental needs that farmer require, that every extension scientist or extension worker must adhere to. First, improving equitable access to productive natural resources and technology must be the equity maintained for that achieving to have that resource used. Two, strengthening the capacity of rural poor and their organizations. Once these two are done, then comes increasing access to financial services and market. This technology is not as such can do much unless the post-production services like value addition, marketing, are taken care by the agriculture extension system. And finally, there is an urgent need for effective use of ICTs like apps, Bhuban platform, which Bhuban platform is very less used by the agriculture scientists, by which a farmer can have if anything comes, the sample can be there in a photo system, come to the scientist and experts, he can give recommendation like that. That's a much use to be done by the Bhuban platform at the both at primary level, the farmers level, also the level. KCC coupled with the Bhuban platform can do wonder in our extension system. Then coming straight to our role of SAUs, including KVKs. An SAU is a key role to play promoting efforts to poverty and livelihood. The achievement of these goals requires not only more than improving existing programs, but also bringing things different. Means that we have to think what is difference. Are the way we are doing right, or there is some difference way, strategy, action. We have to do that one. And this one, when we think about innovation, the innovation by the extension scientists, or they work to innovative way. If you see innovation means novelty, new being or was being done way, a more potential and discoveries to produce processes resulting in new practices, products, markets, and so on. Now, while OIVT, like any other SAU, is a depository of technologies, research knowledge. The KVK is a depository of the extension scientists and the technologies to be disseminated at the farmers level. We believe to make our extension system very effective, some points we have to consider. First, as an SAU, we believe that a broad dissemination of results from our research contributes creating added value to novel applications. We also believe that it is essential to boost innovation in society. Innovation means not just at the research level or technological development level, also at the farmer level. We believe that the best way to guarantee the broad dissemination of the new findings is by taking the lead in this transfer process by an SAU in order to maximize the uses as well as the further development of academic knowledge. Thirdly, we are convinced that it is necessary to generate a snowball effect to boost innovation by extending our client list. Here, our client, we are focusing mostly the farmers. Let's go extend this one to CSOs, FPOs, NGOs, industry, in fact industry. And next thing is that let's divert and do that this individual basis demonstration or let's go to an organized group approach that will be transparent, more effective, self-corrective, and self-dynamic. That is the one. So these are the different mode of extension, mode and mechanism of extension things that we think how to change one. We are also of the opinion that our capacity building should not only be one-way process of transferring the knowledge, mechanical. Farmers are not a robot to be filled with some knowledge and skill, but should be life enhancing, which will stimulate innovation, such that having got some knowledge, he will try really in his farmer's field with the own innovative way, so that it is successful, adaptable, and modular and scalable. And our Farmers First program, like ICR, is one such example, and where farmers in a particular mode are considered as the farmers are scientists. Also, last, most important is that the SAUs have the responsibility to produce graduates with quality education and training, because they have to supply these are the persons who will be extensive scientists, workers in the government, in industry, and society at large with the new skilled experts. And so the university has prepared the graduates not just getting a reductionist approach of getting knowledge, but in an integrated way, particularly the problem-solving learning means the solving a problem, real-world problem, in a multiple interdisciplinary setting, and that is very rigorous and practical. And this problem solving at the graduation level will help make them confident to go to the field and work with them. Well, with this problem, the great humanitarians like that and so many are there. I hope these 3 days symposium will have fruitful discussions and deliberations that are useful to set up the new dimension and strategy, which will really put the new horizon of extension. And this Bhubaneswar declaration of this first Congress will have a milestone in achieving this one. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for highlighting the needs for convergence amongst the scientists, agencies, and institutions, both at ICAR, state and in country level, to make agriculture extension more effective. Thank you very much, sir. Now, we have with us this morning the President of this Congress, respected Dr. A.K. Singh, Honorable DDG, Agriculture Extension, ICAR. May I request you, sir, to share your thoughts.
Honorable Secretary Dare and DG ICR, respected Dr. Mahapatra ji, Dr. Bhubaneswar ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor UT, Dr. Pathak, Dr. Srivastava, the directors of ICR institutes here, Honorable Dr. J.K. Jaina ji, DDG Fisheries, and also DDG Animal Sciences. And I think organizing president is Dr. Sarpati ji, who have been serving the Extension Society, Odisha Extension Society since long. And we requested you, sir, to kindly facilitate this kind of event here, and you very readily agreed for it. And in the audience we have stalwarts from Extension Education, and Dr. G. Trivedi ji, former Vice Chancellor RAU, Dr. P. Das ji, former Deputy Director General Agriculture Extension ICAR, Dr. Saddam Teji, Advisor Planning Commission, Dr. Chahal, our ADG, and Dr. Adhikari ji, former Vice Chancellor, Dr. S.K. Singh, Dr. S.S. Singh, Dr. Chandra Gowda, Dr. M. Reddy from Manage, Dr. Prasad, and many more distinguished colleagues here, and also Dr. Ambest, Dean Extension OUT, the participants, ladies and gentlemen. I, on behalf of this organizing committee, welcome all of you, especially our Secretary Dare and DG ICR. His busy schedule is here. I am extremely grateful to you, sir. I know the kind of pressure what is there in Delhi and how you have been coping with, and somehow you agreed for a half day your availability over here. And I hope when the extension is at what we call a very crucial juncture, your presence here will definitely build a kind of confidence among all those who are here. Research, education, extension and farmer, it is all a continuum, and that is how we have been developed over the years, our whole NARS system in our country, and extension have played very crucial role. Many times we say that the Green Revolution happened because there was a national demonstration program. Though the miracle varieties were there, fertilizers were there, but we say that national demonstration program of ICR was a key ingredient in the success of the whole Green Revolution program, because the scientists were out in the field. That is what our few years back, our previous DG was telling, that 20% time of the scientists should be devoted to the field. And many of the conferences he focused that it has to happen. And not only the extension scientists or agronomists or some scientists who are related to plant protection, but all those scientists, even those who are working in the labs, they must also go to have a feel of the field situation. And that is why we brought a project Farmer First in our country, and 50 locations, 50 institutions are working directly with 1,000 farm households. And basically it's a kind of experimental project in which we can see that how scientists and farmers working together, they are interfacing and taking new technologies and also developing technology involving farmers. That is what the whole concept was. And later on so many other things came into place, like one project on attracting youth in agriculture we have been practicing. Then the Honorable Minister said that why all scientists should go and should adopt villages. And we went for Mera Gaon, Mera Gaurav. So that is again a very successful program. More than 13,000 villages are directly in contact with the scientists, and some way or the other, the scientists are reaching out to the farmers. And it has given a lot of confidence into the field situations. You find that farmers are directly in contact with the scientists. And these 2-3 models which we are experimenting for last 2-3 years, I hope that these projects still have not been evaluated how they are working. But once we are able to standardize the procedures and methods in these 3 projects, we will be able to further scale up that how we can make it more a kind of systematic project, systematic conceptual framework, which is accepted all across. It's not Farmer First is not 30 or 50 places where we are working, but the initial objective of the Farmer First was that it has to be institutionalized in the process of research and technology development in the whole NRS system. And if that happens, everybody realizes its importance, then probably we will be having one model which is making certain kind of changes in the field situation. Now reaching out the farmers has been a great issue, and has been quite often said that we are not reaching to all the farmers. There is a large number of households in our country. We are trying some way or the other, and our KVK system itself, we are 681, reaching out to the farmers, large number of farmers. I am not just quoting the figures, but lakhs and crores of farmers we are reaching, but still we are not able to reach everyone. And our DG just a few months back, he said that why not you bring a project by which we can reach all the villages, if not all the farmers, at least all the villages we start with, and then to all the farmers also. So that is how we are pursuing, and let us hope that in the years to come we'll be able to address this issue also. But extension as such, the extension, the community which is sitting here, our role is create models, create methods, create a kinds of principles and methodologies by which others can follow. Not that we have to follow everything, but here is a core group, and we expect that different kinds of models on which we are working with, you will to present here, and with discussion and interaction between all of us, we'll be able to concretize somewhere. And also there are local innovations in technology dissemination that also we can share on such platforms, and we can build a kind of consensus and we can move ahead. What we were doing and what we need to do has to be quite different, and I am sure when Dr. P. Das ji might have deliberated at length first day as an opening lecture, he might have given insights. What I personally feel that the traditional ways of communicating and just focusing on transfer of technologies, that has not to be the main kind of initiatives from our side. And the issues which are before the country, We talk of the gender, we talk of nutrition, we talk of the climate, and how our extension can focus on all those issues which are a kind of priority issues before our country. That we have to. And in the past also we have seen through NICRA project we brought 2 initiatives at least, which we many times that extension initiative, adopting villages and converting into a climate smart villages. It's a model of kind of villages where converted custom hiring also a kind of method which was evolved. Now state governments are coming forward. For climate smart villages also state governments are coming forward and adopting those villages. So our role, as I said, has to be on developing models and methodologies, and I hope that once you are here and once we get the insights of our Honorable DG, that how the extension has to go into this country, we cannot be different from the priorities, we cannot be different what research system is doing or what education system is doing, and it has to be oneness in the whole approach, whether it is research, extension or farmer related issues. And I hope that in the years to come, when we deliberate here and this has to go further also, our discussions and interactions, and we decide that what should be the pathways. Many times we say that the extension curriculum as such, what should be the content of extension curriculum? The researches in extension, that is also a kind of stress which we have been talking about, that the kind of research which is required in extension is not happening. Many times I have personally seen that the economists who are there, they are working the basic principles of extension, not when you talk of adoption, dissemination, you find that many of the research papers from the economists are coming on these areas, but our people, where they are, whether those adoption related studies are coming, and large scale studies, not some 50, 60 or 100, 200 farmers, but large scale studies, because we have got now a huge number of projects also, like Farmers First project, 50 locations, and I was requesting Dr. Chair that can't we have a kind of information from these 50 locations, that what kind of migration is taking place, what kind of socio-economic status of the farmers are there, and how they are having a kind of attitude towards agriculture as such. Many times we say that people are not interested in agriculture, but at least 50 locations we are, the institutions are there, not only but institutions are there, and also 681 locations are there, so huge database can be created. We have also experienced that though we are creating data, we are not able to analyze and interpret, just taking into our activity in the year. So it has to be integrated, data, analysis of data, so inheriting that the which is charging in our plans. So I hope that when we are here and something we have proposed for the another program, some new initiatives in extension, and that with the tips of our Secretary and DG, we will to make certain changes in the whole the kind of interface which we with the farming company, that we will change the renewal activities which to be focused, the empowerment of farmer which is the necessity of the day. All those issues are I hope that with the support of all of you we will be able to address. Again, I am really grateful to you, sir, Honorable DG Dr. Mahapatra ji, and all those who are here, and especially thankful to major partners of this workshop, this Congress, Dr. Pathak ji, VC OUT, and this institution CIWA, and Dr. G.A. Kumar, I will mention him because he has been working day and night on this Congress. And located here, I was in Delhi, but he was alone. This is a kind of beginning what we have done this year. Next time we meet, we will have bigger strength with the vision and better output.
Thank you very much, sir, for delivering the presidential address and also sharing with the delegates the latest intervention of ICAR and their role in strengthening the linkage between researchers and farming community. Thank you very much, sir. Now, time has come for release of souvenir of this Extension Congress. I request the chief guest and other guests on the dais to please release the souvenir of this International Extension Congress 2018. Sir, this is the, on this occasion, I would like to request our chief guest to please release the logo of this Academy of Extension Sciences, because we are launching the Academy of Extension Sciences. I would like to request our chief guest to please launch this logo. Please, madam. By pressing this button. Huh? Sir. Sir, there, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now I request our chief guest, respected Dr. Trilochana Mahapatra, Honorable Secretary DR and DGI sir, to please grace the occasion, sir.
Very good morning to everyone present here. First of all, I pay respect to two of my teachers who taught me during my BSc Agriculture. One on the dais, Dr. C. Satpathy, who also delivered the welcome address. And also the other who is in the audience, Dr. B. Sadangi, who always remains in the background and is one of the person who also participated in organizing this. And also on the dais, my esteemed colleagues, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Odisha University of Agriculture and Technology, Dr. Pasupalak, Dr. A.K. Singh, Deputy Director General, Agricultural Extension, and also currently Vice Chancellor and Director of the Indian Agriculture Research Institute, Dr. J.K. Jaina, Deputy Director General, Animal Science and Fishery, another valued colleague, and Dr. Satpathy on the dais, and Dr. Pathak, Dr. Srivastava. Of the dais, there are again stalwarts in the field of agricultural extension. Dr. P. Das, highly respected, and you have heard him yesterday. I don't think anything is left to be discussed about after his lecture. You can only revisit what he said, re-describe in a different way, using different words and phrases, what he might have talked before you. and we also keep seeking his help time and again for different purposes at the ICAR, and he has been very magnanimous in providing support to us. We have also Dr. Trivedi, another stalwart, ex-Vice Chancellor of RAU, and again at this advanced age is still involved in field extension and keeps inviting me to visit his fields where maize yields even cross 10 tons. Another involved, not just a theoretical extension specialist, but a practical person working still in the field. We have also Dr. Sadamate here, another valued colleague. We keep meeting in many meetings. Recently we were there in Bangalore, one of the meetings, talking about organics and millets. He was advisor planning commission, a good friend of ICAR, and also a person with valuable thoughts encompassing the whole of agriculture, not just extension. And we have Dr. Adhikari and many others. If I keep taking names, there will be 1 hour required. We have a limited time. Actually, time limit is all gone. We are actually on borrowed time. So many of my colleague directors are there. Dr. Samantare, ex-dean, OUT is there. ADG, Dr. Chal is there. Many others, Dr. S.K. Singh, my colleague, project director DKMA is here. When he actually said, I am coming, I was wondering why he is coming. Then I remember that my knowledge management has to actually intricately be associated with the extension. And what is extension? Extension is also knowledge management. So if PD knowledge management is not here, so it will be incomplete. So colleagues and friends, delegates, very importantly the student delegates who are present here, and my colleagues from CRRI and all other institutions who are here, which are here located in Cuttack, Bhubaneswar, and several of my colleagues are present here, including directors. And ladies and gentlemen, press and media representatives, on my own behalf, I extend a very hearty welcome to each one of you. And I also thank you, particularly Dr. A.K. Singh and other organizers, very specifically Dr. Kumar, G.A.K. Kumar. I know his name in a different way, but he is known as a Kumar, so that's why I prefer to take that name. And many others were involved. So thank you very much for inviting me. I have to move quickly to Ahmedabad, from here again back to Delhi, and from there to Ahmedabad today. And that's the reason. There are plenty of things to do at Delhi. So taking time was difficult, but then I thought probably Dr. A.K. Singh said that you have to come. And at times when you have valued colleagues like Dr. A.K. Singh, and you don't say no, so you have to come. So friends, you have an International Extension Congress. This is International Extension Congress, and you have already deliberated. Halfway through you are almost. And as Dr. Pathak described, that you have different themes and different models and different ways you have defined. So that's very interesting that you have used Delphi method technique to define what should be the theme and what should be the areas to be included in the Congress. And also at the same time, you have many different new things that you have introduced. Dr. Pathak has already said, I don't repeat those. Good thing that you have done that. And certainly the Indian Council of Agriculture Research at this point in time requires more of extension. Honorable Prime Minister of this country keeps emphasizing on lab to land, and at times he laments that despite that we have many technologies sitting in the labs, it doesn't reach the end user. Maybe farmer, maybe other end users. So land to, the extension to land is not as much happen. So there are gaps, and the current studies also suggest that the technologies sitting in the labs are incubated longer than that is required. So this time of incubation in the laboratories have to be reduced as much as possible. Once they mature, they must reach the end user. So lab to land is not new, it's a very old concept. And you all know this. The old timers must have worked on this particular program which was initiated. But how do we visualize this lab to land in today's context? Many things have been said, and certainly there are gaps. The agricultural extension, Deputy Director General Animal Science and Fishery, Dr. Jena, is here, and we have agricultural extension, we have veterinary extension, we have fishery extension, and we have all these extension services, extension departments we have created in different deemed universities. So if I have to start with one thing, and that is extension education, given that we have 100 odd students who are present here, and therefrom I will start. And what is that we are teaching today? How much, Dr. A.K. Singh just touched upon this, that how much of extension education is according to time, is up to date, and we are in line with the recent developments. So I believe there has to be, if not there is a session, there has to be a separate discussion involving the seniors, that what all we must do with regard to extension curriculum, and that needs to be strengthened, modified, reformed, revised, deleted, added, or whatever you say. When I started teaching molecular genetics at IRI, there were only 9-10 students who used to register. So I said, why it is? And I designed a particular proforma questionnaire. And for almost 5 years, I kept getting inputs from the students. So slowly, I started modifying the courses based on the inputs of the students. And also, at the same time, I thought recent developments which are strategically and intelligently integrated with the conventional methods and approaches and old information would be interesting. So I did that. So in the process, I in fact modified the course content myself without waiting for course content for me to teach. And in fact, in a way, I found at the end of the day, this course, whatever I used to teach, it encompassed whole of biotechnology. And if a student opts for that particular course, he got through everything, whether ARS, whether entrance examination of UGC or CSIR, or for that matter, even civil service. So what I'm trying to say is there is a great scope, and I believe very strongly in this, and Dr. P. Das, Dr. Trivedi, Dr. Sadamate, Dr. A.K. Singh should look into it. What extent we have been able to modify it to incorporate the recent developments. And what is that? We have today created a kind of academy of extension sciences. So what do you mean by those extension sciences? So I believe before you expand this, you must deliberate on this. Dr. A.K. Singh did say that extension is not just extension scientist's job. Extension has to be done by everybody. So whether this is a horticulturist or whatever, everybody has to do extension. It has gone beyond the domains of just a person who has taken courses and got a degree in extension. But it has gone beyond. Everybody is part of the extension process today. And how do we do this in today's context? One is course curriculum and do that, and an analysis and modification of that. And today's student, how should be, we have a student ready program. What extent he is ready for extension? You and all, everybody present here, you and me, everybody knows that what extent extension is happening. The institutional mechanism which is existing for extension and how effective this institutional mechanism is, and everybody knows. And everybody laments that probably that mechanism is not very effective. And that's the reason why the kind of advisory that you provide, it has not reached. And the other day we visited the state and there were problems of BPH in rice, and institute provided advisory to everybody, and it has not gone to the field level and farmers. We had in Maharashtra pink bollworm problem in cotton. Advisories were issued by the institute, Cotton Research Institute in Nagpur. It was also issued to Gujarat, but they implemented, but it was not much of implementation in Maharashtra. That is what was very evident. The other day there were a lot of discussion on this. Honorable Agriculture Minister was involved in that. So how do we change this whole scenario of extension? We used to say transfer of technology, adoption, in the process communication, and its how do we communicate, different methods of communication so that the rate of adoption is improved. So adoption, and before that communication, appropriate and adequate communication. And given that we have the information communication technology revolution today, I believe Dr. A.K. Singh at ICAR level, the other day we discussed with the Tata Consultancy Service, and we have to move fast. How to capitalize on recent information communication technologies and change the whole communication process altogether. In this context, we are actually not only developing the mobile apps, mention was made by Chancellor Saab was talking about this, that more than 70 we have already compiled now, the mobile applications. Every institute is doing on every commodity. and technology process, all that we have. So resorting to more and more of the mobile applications, which is a part of our communication strategy, the information communication technologies which are available, and this is a small component of it. But how do we capitalize on this large scale? So I believe there is a big gap there, and that's the reason why we are failing. Obviously, we and you and me, we have to do research. I'll come to research a little later. But we have also a responsibility for extension at field level. We cannot say that that's not our domain. That's very much our domain, and we have a responsibility there. When I was asked that, what you are doing, I said we are doing FLD, and in fact before, the high-level committee. So we are doing FLD, we are doing also training, farmers training. They are all different methods of communicating. National demonstration as a scheme that was immensely successful, and that was conceptualized as a part of extension. Seeing is believing, and obviously seeing that in the field situation, seeing that through a video, seeing that through a presentation, so there is a difference. How animatedly with animations you communicate, and how effective these communications are in today's world. In Rajasthan, I was told there are many spurious bio products, including biopesticides, are being sold without much basis, without much scientific validation. By encouraging farmers through videos, and videos containing statements and activities of so-called successful farmers from elsewhere. And that has been very effective. That's what I am told. So it's not necessarily field demonstration itself, but even video recordings appropriately. And today, we want to stop straw burning. And for that, what we are planning is the effective extension and communication strategy. And part of the strategy is preparing a complete documentation, a complete story, a video recording, and also a story on in situ incorporation as a part of storm management, so that we bring that to the mass media and largely cover the farmers of this country. And this is very, very important, because one is having, as I said, technology, having information base which is very strong. But the other is informing the farmers adequately. The awareness programs, first of all, is not there. Forget about transfer of the technology. Transfer would happen only when there is adequate awareness. The farmers have to be informed, and that is not happening. So as a part of our extension, creation of awareness through various means, very short clip require. You don't require, very kind of lines, what we call. And those taglines are to be promoted and propagated first of all, to catch the attention and imagination of people before you go for large-scale extension. Can we create those taglines? I was talking about mobile apps. Is 70, 75 or even 100. This is so less for a country like this. It has to be in all different languages. And I have requested Dr. A.K. Singh that we have to really move faster in this particular direction. All local, regional languages, all these mobile apps to be ready. We prepared one in Pomegranate. Now it is available in many different languages. In a few months of its being in the website, more than 15,000 downloads happened, and most of them from outside country. So how do we do extension globally? And this is a bright example. of doing extension globally, promoting our pomegranate, our technology packages, the management practices, and everything globally. So you are a global teacher, global extensionist by way of that. And we have to capitalize on this technology. Using more and more of technology. And before you do that, actually, these taglines have to be defined to inform the farmers and attract their attention. Why we have failed? Because practically, to start with, we are not able to attract the attention of the farmers. And once we do that, they will be involved in learning more what you are talking about in details. And why Yavatmal cases happened, the unfortunate cases happened? Because of lack of information and education there. Largely, we can keep blaming, dealers and then the companies, the manufacturers of pesticides, the government agencies, the Deputy Director of Agriculture, Director of Agriculture, the institutes, and everybody we can blame in the process. And we can also politicize in the process. But the fact is, there is lack of information and communication on the whole issue of pesticides. How do we strengthen this? One is using technology. I believe Dr. Das must have described this, and all of you must be discussing, and nothing new on this what I'm telling. But the other day, the Anuka company, Mr. Agarwal came and we were discussing how do we make use of the system which is existing and the system of dealers. See, we have only one-sided, that we are all trained extension people. We have officers at the block level to do extension. We have a village level agriculture officer, panchayat level. He has to do and teach extension about technology to the farmers. But the non-traditional, non-conventional methods of extension, we must discuss and deliberate and come out with a very specific recommendations how these non-conventional, unconventional methods can be capitalized on, and which is a huge number, and more importantly, farmers listen to them. They are farmers' friends. And not only that, they also give things on credit. Farmers depend on them. So they believe in what dealers say. They may not believe what you and me are telling, but they believe in what dealers say. Can dealers be our extension agents? How much we have capitalized on them? And what could be the mechanism to capitalize on them? Short courses, proper communications, because they will be working for profit. Obviously, they will have slightly different motives in what they are doing. But can we improve upon that and bring in a change in the whole scenario of communication extension through dealers, and bring in a sea change? And I believe we can do that. So friends, there are many things to talk about. Time is limiting and I have to also catch the flight. And you will have also other sessions where I am delaying your other sessions and discussions. But I can tell you, we are very hard pressed. We want to double the income of the farmers. Dr. A.K. Singh was talking that thanks to Honorable Agriculture Minister. He is one minister, very down to earth. He comes from a rural setting. and his thought process always is for farmers. If you have something, tell me. It must go to the farmers. And it is his idea, and that's a mega idea, that is called Mera Gaon, Mera Gaurav. The whole phrase has been designed by him. Mera Gaon, Mera Gaurav. And through this process, in fact, initially everybody was so reluctant. Usually all wastage of time, why these scientists are being compelled to go to villages and so on and so forth. But then when there was a compulsion, everybody started going. And we have now 10,500 villages in the process, kind of adopted. 600 villages, IRA itself. So, and in the process, more than 3.5 lakh farmers have been communicated, contacted, and then in the process advised. And this is happening. We have to strengthen this. University obviously has to strengthen this. There are several mechanisms. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor has already talked about many of the things. I will not repeat. But what I am trying to say is, how do we double the income of the farmers? And this is one mechanism where you can inform the farmers adequately, at least, because there is not much of money involved. So only you can go there, talk to farmers, understand their situation, analyze their situation, come back and then see what can be done for those farmers and villages. How do I double the income of the farmers? In this budget, there is an emphasis. Earlier, Honorable Prime Minister has given this call to all of us that we have to double the income of the farmers. This is a challenge for everybody. Me at the helm of affair in the Indian Council of Agriculture Research, and everybody, the students also. Students have a big role to play. The university has a big role to play. There will be people from many different universities, I am told. How we do this? You have thousands of students. They should be our messengers for change. Messengers for change. So making students messengers of change, sending them to the villages, in addition to the scientists who are limited in number, spreading this message that the gaps are there and we can double the income of the farmers, building the confidence in the farmers that we can double the income of the farmers. This is very, very crucial for us to succeed. So can we utilize the student mass as our extension agent, change agents? And you say extension people are change agents. And how do we make this? Every student at the BSc Agriculture, I am a student of extension, although I didn't specialize in extension. I am a student of extension. The language I speak, I have learned during my teachers have taught me that you are a change agent. All students can be change agents. How do they communicate? They must be taught about it. And in the BSc Agriculture and Veterinary and Fishery, they must be taught about it. How must they must communicate? And they must be change agents for doubling farmers' income. And I cited this example in Uttar Pradesh, how we have done it. If you take this example that the Indian Institute of Sugarcane Research, Dr. Pathak, he has roped in DCM Sriram and the sugar mills of DCM Sriram, 4 of them. He has adopted 8 villages, all farmers of the villages, and total baseline survey where they stand today and how they are going to transform by 2022 these villages, and how they have planned to double the income of the farmers. Year after year, month after month, and how the progress is going to be accelerated, and what technology packages are going to be implemented, and what is that which is going to be spent on this. And the whole expenditure is going to come from DCM Sriram sugar mills. And this will be sugarcane based, the cropping system and farming system to double the income of the farmers. This will be a model for the whole country. This is an extension model. Doubling farmers' income pertains to extension domain. And this is an extension model. We talk of models. How many new models we create? Dr. A.K. Singh was talking about research. Those people who are engaged in extension, they believe they don't have to do research. There's not much to do in research. The kind of research extension scientists can do, nobody else can do. When I was at CRRI, I kept emphasizing on this. It's not just field extension demonstrate something. When you are demonstrating something, there is so much of research involved in that. The technology, the limitations of it, you yourself can understand, and that's a part of your research. The technology, how fast it is getting transmitted, that is part of your research. If you have specific observations defined, parameters defined, questionnaires defined, then you will have an enormous amount of research there. But we don't do. We don't do. And we keep blaming that we can't publish good papers because we don't have thought process invested in our research. If we invest our thought process in research, extension research, we will be able to publish in Nature and Science, my dear colleagues and friends. And the impact of this on Swarna Sab-1 can be published in a very high impact journal of science related to science and nature, more than 10 impact factor. Why not you and me can publish and publish on our work given the socio-economic dynamics and complexities that exist in this country? No other country has this resource, and this must be capitalized on to have social science research, extension research, and how complex it is. And you know how different it is from Punjab to Odisha, for that matter, Bihar or Andhra Pradesh, or for that matter, southern part of this country. And you and me know very well that we can do, but we don't do. When I was at CRRI, I emphasized that our publication record must improve. We can't just be satisfied with publishing here and there. By creating journals in our different societies, at times, we have played havoc in science. We keep publishing there and get satisfied that I have published here and there. And in the process, I don't think of publishing something in a high rated journal. I don't deride why we have created these societies and we have created these journals. We must improve upon and keep publishing there. But our satisfaction level should not be so low that after publishing there, I must not say that my job is done. So I repeatedly emphasizing on this particular point, and that concerns extension research. Extension research. Extension research is plenty to do. Dr. A.K. Singh was mentioning about gender. Such an important area. We have institute, we have sitting on the institute where this is women in agriculture. And how much research on gender mainstreaming we have done in this country. Dr. Lipidas is here, and when we used to go to the village as a group of farmers, and I was happy to see the annual report of CRRI depicting the picture of the lady, the leader, driving a transplanter, rice transplanter. And she used to do spraying and then talk about pesticides and dose and everything when you used to visit that village which she adopted. And how real gender was mainstreamed. The land was given to them. They were allowed to cultivate and then they will have that all hisab of what they have generated, the resource kind of thing, the technology interventions, the group activity, the marketing of it, the bank accounts management and holding and accounts management, everything. It's a wonderful study. But how many such gender mainstreaming we do in this country? And I can tell you, there are people who come from the international centers, CG centers, take advantage of this situation that is existing in this country, go back with the data and published in very high rating journals. But we don't do this, unfortunately. Why our mind process, thought process has so many blockages? Our leaders must think about it. Our teachers must think about it and inculcate in the minds of the students to start with that they have to think big. Not just become change agents, but become in true sense scientists and world-class scientists to publish in that kind of journals and be recognized in the process and give new models. IRI developed post office model of extension. And that model must be worked out from every angle. What is the scientific algorithm that you have used there? Nothing. We said, okay, these are the post offices and these are the information will go and they will extend. There is a process description. But there is no mathematical thought process going into it. A higher level thought process getting into it so that we have a theory developed in the process of transmission of technology, the adoption of technology, the rate of transmission and adoption of the technology, how fast and how quick it is going, and how we are able to change, because this is attitude change. When we were discussing straw burning, and to change it, it's already 12:20. So, the first point that we discussed is, it's not that there are no technology, it's not that there are no machines, it's not that there are no schemes, but farmers are not adopting. Despite the fact that the soil will gain or benefit from incorporation of straw in the soil, the carbon content will increase tremendously, but farmers have not adopted. Why? Changing attitude is the toughest task. The toughest task. How much research we have done on the varying level of attitude in this country? How much we have done research on the approaches to change the attitude of the farmers of this country? I believe quite a bit must have been done. What is the best approach to change the attitude of the farmers today in Haryana, in Punjab, versus the eastern part or northeastern part of this country? The farmers at different levels, the small and marginal and advanced farmers, the big farmers, we have a wide range of complexities and different cropping, farming and systems. The farmers working in different systems. So friends, this is one way, and this is what we have been talking about. This is briefly about research. I can keep talking, but there's no point talking about. But I am talking about emphasizing on extension research and putting in more of your mind into it so that you generate that high-class science and that kind of models. And this is the era of digital agriculture. And in digital agriculture era, the new extension models, new theories of extension must emerge. If we apply our minds, we should be able to give those new theories. New approaches of gender mainstreaming. So why not? So I believe there's plenty for you and me to discuss and deliberate and come out with specific recommendations. And I can tell you, reverse extension must happen even at a faster pace than it was happening or not happening. we say that it is a reverse pyramid, it's just a top-down approach, this bottom-up approach must happen. Who will do this bottom-up approach? You and me. So reverse extension, the extension, not that it goes to the farmers but lab to land, but land to lab. So land to lab happening. This is being talked about for decades. And we have certainly gained from this particular process, reverse process. We have redesigned our research. But today, unless we go to the field, we will not be able to understand these complex problems that are existing. The nuances of agriculture today, you know, it's not subsistence farming. It has to be commercial farming. If it has to be commercial farming, obviously, our level of extension has to change. It is not just technology transfer. It is not just technology adoption. It is much more than that. Our mandates of KVKs have to change. I have been talking about Dr. A.K. Singh. Our mandates of KVK has to change. It's not just FLD. It's not just OFT. It's not just training. Much beyond. How much we tell farmers about the marketing. How much we talk about value chains. How much we talk about post-harvest processes, trading and market intelligence. This is certainly very, very important component of our extension has to be. And when we redefine our extension in terms of redesign them in terms of manpower, we must have people on economics there, marketing there, so that it's strengthened. Otherwise, we will be failing. And this must be debated actually. What is that component, whether value chain, establishing value chain has to be a mandate of Krishi Vigyan? Market linkage, how do we establish? Who are the players? How effective linkages can be established? And even incubations, it was not mandate of KVK. And we have to incubate in KVK the entrepreneurs of tomorrow. But agriculture is more of entrepreneurship, not just subsistence farming, as I said. It has to be commercial venture. And when we say farmer has to work on a kind of system, and we must be interacting at a system mode at the KVK, not individual scientists, experts going there and talking about, but how much of knowledge base we have created at the KVK. So we have a lot to do, Dr. A.K. Singh, and we have been discussing these factors, these issues, and we should be able to really capitalize on this, the new developments in today's context, so that our KVKs are in tune with, in line with the new India that Honorable Prime Minister is talking about. If we talk of new India, what is that new India that we talk about? Not conducting a program, not having just a mela or training program, much beyond that. Obviously, we have limited resources, we have limited things, and we have to, how do we actually utilize the corporate social responsibility funds, and there are people who are ready to support actually. We have not been able to capitalize on that particular budget. So how do we do that? And certainly, Dr. Pasupalak was talking about supply chain management, and you have input system, output system management, input system management, and a whole lot of things. When the KVK has to teach the farmers. Unless we do that, we will not really succeed. Colleagues and friends, there are many more things to talk about, and we have new programs, ARIA, Farmers Fast, and so on and so forth, and they are in operation, and we are planning to expand them, not just few KVK, we're thinking to expand them. How do we expand, and also trying to bring in new programs for our extension work to be successful. And in the era of digital agriculture, we should be able to move faster, and the country needs quite a bit of, support from the extension scientists and personnel. And I am here today despite all my busy schedule because of my abiding interest in agricultural extension. You know, my colleagues at CRRI would certainly say, the day I joined, I said this is my first priority. Because unless you do that, you will not be successful. Unless you do that, you will not be successful. This country will not be successful. So, kindly help us. Council wants your help. It is a huge task, huge responsibility. And I'm sure you and me together, mention was made about convergence, about so many things have been already mentioned. I don't want to really go into those, but we have to join hands. And unless we join hands, we will not be able to succeed. I wish this particular Congress, and I wish your deliberations will bring lot of recommendations, implementable ones for us to work on and take the course forward. I believe your deliberations will help us double the farmers' income. With your involvement, your indulgence, and selfless indulgence, we will be able to double the income of the farmers by 2022. And you must design, my KVK colleagues, Authority Director is there, Dr. Singh, and others should be here. How do we engage KVK? How do we engage farmers' organizations to double the income of the farmers? I believe we should be able to do that. And very importantly, the last one is everything is there for decades. It's not that we have not made any change. We have made changes. Progressive changes are there. But Honorable Prime Minister wants disruptive technologies and changes. How can we bring those disruptive changes, big impacts? And this is what you have to tell me as extension specialist, how extension can be utilized to bring those disruptive changes which will be visible. So friends, with these words, thank you very much, Dr. A.K. Singh, Dr. Kumar, Dr. Sarangi, Dr. Satpathy, Dr. Pathak, and everybody for inviting me to be here. And thanks Dr. Srivastava for organizing this here in Women Institute. And Women in Agriculture is the only institute in the world. And you must justify that, your existence. And why Women in Agriculture? I was asked why you have a Women in Agriculture Day, Women Farmers Day. Why you have this day? I was trying to justify. Dr. A.K. Singh said, no, that is the day. There's a Rural Women Day, International Rural Women Day, and all that. So we're trying to justify. But how women in agriculture is at the center stage. Gender is mainstreamed and women is at center stage of agricultural development. I have seen those women group, how excited they are even today. We have to be inspiring leaders. My colleagues and friends who are sitting there, leaders, we don't have role models. We don't have inspiring leaders. We need inspiring leaders today who would inspire generations of extension people, generations of extension workers and scientists to bring in those changes that I was talking about. I hope and wish you will be role models for tomorrow's generations and today's generations rather. And you will be those change agents, bringing those changes which are so essential for this country. Thank you very much. Wish you all the very best.
Grateful to you, sir, for gracing this occasion. And I think you must take few minutes to observe the words of our chief guest. Certainly. Sir, your good self has clearly spelled out the priorities. Revamping lab to land system and also reverse extension, that is very nice. Relooking the extension education, innovations in creativeness among stakeholders, and your shared thoughts on how to blend the conventional and unconventional methods, technologies. At the greatest call is today that students are the messengers of changes. And sir, we remember we must harness the strength of students' community to strengthen the agricultural extension in this country. And certainly, your words have triggered our thought process. Still, you will take more time to observe your words, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And now this is the time that we should, as a token of love from all of us, we should felicitate our chief guest and guest of honor. May I request the president of this Congress, the respected Dr. A.K. Singh sir, to please honor our chief guest and other guests of honors by presenting a moment. And I request our respected Dr. C. Satpat sir to present this moment to. Thank you very much, sir, for doing the honors. Now we have come to the last leg of this program. Now may I invite Dr. S.K. Srivastav, the chairperson of local organizing committee, to present the vote of thanks, sir. Propose the vote of thanks.
Honorable Secretary, dear and DG ICR Dr. Trilochan Mahapatra ji, Honorable DDG Agriculture Extension Dr. A.K. Singh Sahab, Honorable DDG Dr. J.K. Jena, Animal Science and Fisheries, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Odisha Agriculture University and Technology, Bhubaneswar, respected Dr. Satpathy, President of the Odisha Organizing Society, Honorable learned persons of the dais, Vice Chancellors, Directors, and most respected Dr. P. Das Sahab, the founder member of this institution, as well as stalwarts of the extension fraternity. Honorable Dr. Sadamate Sahab, he has been the guiding principles for this institution as one of the RSC member. Dr. B.P. Chahal, he has been giving various advices to these institutions, and our co-chairpersons of this organizing committee, Dr. Pathak from NRRI, Dr. Sundare from ICAR-CIWA, Dr. S.K. Ambast from IIWM, representatives of the Odisha Agriculture Universities, and invited guests from the other institutions located at the Bhubaneswar, dear delegates and participants. Actually, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Mahapatra Sahab for sparing their valuable time, as he has told several times that he has to go to Ahmedabad. He has very little time, and I appreciate, sir, your presence, and I hope that you have not taken anything in from the morning because due to their busy schedules. So this is your greatness, sir. This is your greatness, sir. I am very much thankful to all the organizers, authorities of the council who has taken the decision to conduct this first International Extension Congress at Odisha. Again, I am thankful to the all authorities to decide to organize this first external International Congress at this institute that is itself the empowerment of the farm movement. I am also thankful to the sponsors of these seminars, particularly from the councils and from the government department of the Odisha and other collaborators who has wholeheartedly contributed to organize this Congress. And I will also thankful to all other dignitaries who are present here, all the panelists, all the media personals, all the delegates who has come over from the long way and available here. And finally, I would like to say a special thanks to some of the foreign delegates from the Egypt. I would like to say Shukran, Shukran, Shukran. For the delegates from the Afghanistan, I would like to say Tasakor, Tasakor. And for the friends of Ghana, I would like to say Midasi, Midasi. And finally, for the friends of Nepal, I would like to say Dharai Dhanyavad. And finally, for all of the persons who are available inside the hall or outside the hall, once again, I will thank one and all for coming over here and making the grand success of this inaugural function. Thank you very much.
Sir, now we can. Hello, sir. We all can stand up for national anthem, please.
जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्ज्वल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जनगण मन अधिनायक